Jim Barcelone from the Miami Herald is next, and then after that I'm going to take a question from the write-ins.
Did.
Thank you, Cody. Hey, you mentioned Rampage a little earlier, and I'm curious because AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, two really good shows on AEW YouTube, the presentation of those are different, and there are things that are different about those two shows. And I'm curious if there's anything you could tell us up front about Rampage that will separate itself from Dynamite and the presentation of it and just what we can expect from Rampage.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Muted.
With Rampage, we're going to have a bunch of news, hopefully coming in the following week. But I can say just a few things about the show itself. One, I think you'll see with the show that it's more centered around the fight itself, the match itself, being that it's a 1 hour program. I think you'll see a little bit more fight forward focus. In addition to that, Mark Henry will be joining the booth on commentary, and I think that's a really fun perspective. I've known Mark for quite some time. I'm very proud of this. I was able to start a community outreach department at All Elite Wrestling, and Mark Henry was one of the first people that I had to have on that team. He would have started his own department if he could, because of his contacts in this world, his ambassadorship all around with various outlets as we go from market to market to do good. I'm very proud. I know it's not exactly on the crosshairs of your question, but I'm very proud of the community outreach group. Thunder Rosa is incredibly helpful. We did wonderful stuff with Salvation Army. Tomorrow we've reached our goal for Wounded Warriors, and many of them will be in attendance at Homecoming. Hats off to the captain, Sean Dean. I wanted a bit more responsibility in the company, and this department is an area where I'm really going to sink my teeth in because I truly believe in however famous or however you want to put it that you are, your sphere of influence and your ability to positively affect the towns you go to is a wonderful, wonderful thing that you can do for really no cost. So I'm very excited about community outreach, and I'm excited about Rampage, to hear Mark on commentary and to see a show that, to your point, having these different identities with Elevation, with Dark, with Dynamite, it will have its own. I kind of want to break a spoiler, but you know what? What the hell? Every now and then I get in a little trouble. I think, so maybe it's not a spoiler, I think the canvas with the logo in the center, which is one of my favorite things ever, is returning for Rampage. I think. So y'all can all tweet me endlessly if I was wrong about that. But that's as much of a spoiler as I can give you on Rampage. More news coming this week. I'm very excited about it.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, I'm going to take a question here from our online submissions from Darren Paltrowitz from The Hype magazine. Cody, when Darren had the pleasure of speaking to you about 3 years ago, and he asked you about your original to-do list, and at the time you said that to-do list was pretty much completed. So you created a second to-do list, and then that consisted of All In happening, and All In being an absolute grand slam. So he's kind of interested in your to-do list. What else do you have? What else do you and AEW, after everything you've accomplished over the past few years, what else is left to do on your to-do list?
That is a loaded question. My goals in wrestling have changed so much. When I first got into wrestling, I just wanted to win the title that they had taken away from my dad in Madison Square Garden. And then time just zoomed forward, and the goals presented to me then were astronomical. To be part of the Elite with Matt, Nick, and Kenny, and Hangman, and then to have Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley and Tony actually provide the biggest burst of life in 2 decades for wrestling. Gosh, I almost would feel foolish making new goals for wrestling because so much has been done with this team we have. It's definitely been a team effort. So much has been done. You know, this is going to be maybe a sappy answer. But I think before, you know, it's all said and done, and I don't know when that is, because between you and I'm pretty tired right now. I would like my daughter to know, I'd like my daughter to know that I never gave up at an industry that really can chew you up and spit you out. I never gave up. I really wanted to move forward, and the identity that was presented to me, I was going to outgrow that. The plans that were presented to me didn't match my own plans, and I just hope that's something that she can know. I think that's my biggest goal. Is I had the best dad in the world, and I just want to be that for her.
Thanks, Cody. Amy Nemedy from Wrestle Joy, you're going to go next, and behind Amy will be Nick Hausman from Wrestling King. Amy?
Wow, what a follow-up. Congratulations to the birth of your daughter and for the beautiful world that you want to show her. I want to touch back to the community outreach program because you kind of took the question right out of my mouth. So with AEW, community charity and giving back has been very crucial from the outset. And with the formation of AEW Community, you now have the Safe Alliance Project, the Wounded Warrior Project. Can you talk a little bit about the formation of AEW Community, how it came into place, and how you sort of choose the programs that you're going to be working with as you give back to communities on the road?
Absolutely. It was kind of all the stars were aligning at once on community outreach. Paul White, he's an ambassador to the Special Olympics. Paul White arrived. I have a relationship with him. Mark Henry, all about community outreach. And at the time, I was banging on Tony Khan's door every week wanting to put this department together, because one of the things I learned through my career is a woman named Sue Aitchison, you guys might know her, was the power of the program and how you can change someone's life, politics aside, place on the card aside, how you can have that positive outreach. Eddie Graham was also someone who really, it was first and foremost in his business, and Eddie Graham taught my dad, and my dad taught me. And what I wanted to do different was I wanted to get basically, you know, Thunder Rosa in the Texas area, and she has social work experience, and Captain Sean Dean, his military connections. I wanted to do things that other companies can't do, and I don't think still can do, with in-program activations. We saw one at Double or Nothing with Canines for Warriors, which Mega of the Jags helped me coordinate. I'm open to everything. That's why we put the email out there publicly. It's my way of trying to reel in as many places to work with that do good, that truly do good. The Jags Foundation has been incredibly helpful. We're busing in 600 children, youth groups, to the homecoming show tomorrow, 600. And I hope that I can give one of them my weight belts on my entrance. These in-program activations where we can actually see these folks means a lot to me. Again, Sue Aitchison was a real model for that, and I always appreciated, because I did endless amounts of appearances throughout my career. They were incredibly important for my education. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm almost speaking vaguely about it all. I'm very proud of it, but I'm real excited that every town we go to, I can ask Lance Archer, you know, about Texas. I can ask John Moxley about Cincinnati, and I can do that everywhere we go. And we can have that talent specifically involved. It was really amazing to me, the roster, after we took that photo in the ring, the amount of people said, I want to be part of this. That's how you know you got a really good roster. And again, like, I wanted more responsibility. I wanted this group to happen, and Tony blessed us with this group. I want talent to be able to experience what I experienced and just know the power of wrestling. You know, there's nothing like it. There really isn't anything like wrestling. And right now it's destination programming all over the world again. So that, to me, I want to spread that all around.
Thanks. Thanks, Amy. I'm sorry. Thanks, Amy. Nick Hausman, you're next, and you're going to be followed by Connor Casey from Comic Book. Nick?
Cody, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud. And
Okay, wonderful. Hi, Cody. Thank you so much for taking the time.
no, thank you.
I wanted to ask about somebody that I haven't quite heard rumors about yet, but obviously was really jarring. What's your reaction when you see a Bray Wyatt is all of a sudden available on the market? And, I mean, do you see a space for him at AEW?
Bray Wyatt was, before he was Bray Wyatt, was my rookie at that second season they did of NXT, and the Rotunda family and the Rhodes family, that they certainly go way back. I can't comment on if I see a spot for him when it comes to us, but I can tell you an incredibly creative individual, an incredibly creative man. And whenever I see someone like that lose their job or move into the next phase in their career, as someone who left WWE on my own, at the time that was super unheard of to leave. I just always, I can't be everyone's sounding board, but I really want to be. Because, I'll give you an example. I'll pivot away. I would have never thought that Matt Cardona was going to end up being this GCW champion and getting pelted with trash. But I should have thought he would be doing something, and that's kind of to circle back to Bray. I can't comment on if he fits in with us, but I can say if he has an ounce of passion for this, that guy can fit in anywhere. Because he's a very special talent. So that's really all I could say there.
Thanks, Nick. Connor Casey, you are up next, and I'm going to follow Connor with a write-in question from Russ Weekland from Hollywood Life. Connor?
Oh, there we go. Hey, Cody, thanks for doing this today. Wanted to ask about the United Center. You guys sold out Rampage really quickly. Is that going to be a consistent location for you guys when it comes to Dynamite, Rampage, and the pay-per-views? Or is All Out going to still consistently be held at the Now Arena going forward?
Well, that's a great question. I know for Tony Khan, it was a childhood dream to run the United Center. And to sell it out instantly, I think we can call it an instant sellout. Which makes me, that's just wild to say out loud. With that in mind, I don't really think it's about the United Center, Now Arena, or even Wintrust Arena that was such a loud and rambunctious crowd for Revolution. I think Chicago itself will always be a destination for All Elite Wrestling. Chicago is a really unique wrestling town, and it's a wonderful city. People like to travel there. For me, I don't think I've ever worked in the United Center. I don't think I've ever wrestled in the United Center. I really don't. I can't wait to see the vibe there, because obviously my heart probably personally sits with the Now Arena, because there's a plaque on the side of the building with my face on it from when we were able to do All In. You can't go wrong wrestling in Chicago, so that will be the destination for AEW. Chicago's always going to be part of our footprint. It's also really exciting to see young wrestlers. We have such a young roster. Look at Top Flight. Look at those kids. For them to be able to wrestle in a city like that, on an event like that, really just, it's eye-opening and educational as a wrestler. So I don't have a favorite building, my friend. I'm excited about the United Center, and the fact that we could fill it instantly, that really emboldens our fans really, it begets the question, what's next? Where is